Mandeep Singh joins us here on Nvidia and what we saw yesterday. What is the legs on this, Mandeep? I mean, you know, we all get the moonshot in units and the fervor, and I saw the 240%, blah, blah, blah. Do you look at it as a three-quarter thing, or can it be a 30-year thing?
I mean, look, we are witnessing the biggest data center expansion right now, and data center IT market was about 8 to 10% grower historically. And when you look at the numbers that Nvidia is printing, clearly there's insatiable demand. Yes, they will be affected by China restrictions, but they're still under shipping demand. And that was the message. And this is a near monopoly at this point of time. The question that you have to ask yourself is, will it remain a monopoly like Intel was over the last 25 years in the CPU market? Or will there be more players that can develop chips? And right now, customers that are buying these chips are very concentrated. It's the hyperscalers that are buying, 50% of NVIDIA's capacity. Will they continue to do that, for the foreseeable future?
Okay,
that's
well,
the question.
You're an expert on this, and I guess Altman's back at OpenAI. How long does it take to make a competitive chip?
Well, so that's what NVIDIA has showed, that they can pivot much quicker. They can ship products much quicker than anyone else. Look, AMD and Intel have the capability to make a GPU, but it's not as productive and efficient as an NVIDIA GPU is, and that's what we are seeing. That's why I say it's still a monopoly, and until you see proof that companies can train as effectively their models on alternative chips, I think NVIDIA will continue to have this kind of ASP growth, which we saw last night.
Mandeep, one aspect of the earnings report that I thought was probably most interesting was the drop-off they signaled in Chinese demand for their GPUs, for some of their products. And this comes at a time where they're still able to beat expectations on revenue. They can still ship those chips elsewhere. What does that tell us about both what's going on in China, but also more broadly, what's going on with just the glut of demand?
Yeah, look, there was certainly some pull forward in China because they anticipated these restrictions, and you could argue NVIDIA was probably over-earning in that region. But there is that demand, that they can ship their chips elsewhere, and that is what gives, I think, the confidence that this company is way ahead in terms of not only just developing a GPU, but bundling it. They highlighted networking is a $10 billion run rate business. Software is a $1 billion run rate business. They have the perfect mousetrap right now in terms of bundling these chips to train large language models, and that's huge.
All right. So, Mandeep, we were talking about OpenAI and trying not to talk about OpenAI and the relevance of that to this story. How much is there a relationship in terms of Microsoft's desire to create some sort of rival chip with respect to the AI development more broadly, and what the future is for OpenAI as an independent agency?
Yeah, look, OpenAI and NVIDIA are the face of generative AI, if you think about the trend that has played out this year. And I think with OpenAI going through this turmoil, Microsoft driving those changes has steadied the ship. But I would be surprised if they can, ship out the next version of GPT as quickly as they intended to be, because there will be some talent loss as a result of this. And I think Sam coming back to OpenAI may drive some people out, and I can't imagine things will go back the way they were last week.
What do those people actually do, Mandeep? I'm serious. Do they sit at a desk with what? A Sun Spark station, a Mac? What computers in front of them? And are they doing the coding like the coders do at Bloomberg? Is it just as romantic as that?
I mean, look, this generative AI wave is built on a transformer model, and that is built on, ingesting large amounts of data. There is a human feedback element to train these algorithms and put those guardrails. And training is a constant process. That's what we learned from NVIDIA last night, that you're not one and done with training. You're constantly training your model. That's why you need the GPUs and the data center build out. So there's a lot that's going on in terms of understanding the algorithms, and then obviously putting the guardrails to make sure the results are correct.
And Mandeep, just a final question from me, and certainly I would never criticize Satya Nadella. I think I've said on this program and in the last 24 hours, one of, if not the best CEO in corporate America, but clearly some missteps along the way here. Mandeep. What do you think the lessons of the last week will be for him and for Microsoft?
I mean, when you make a $13 billion investment and, take a 49% stake in a company, you take a board seat as well so that you know what's going on. I think in this case, they were blindsided by the developments. And he mentioned that. And clearly, I think that was the lesson for Microsoft here.
Mandeep, thank you, sir. Mandeep Singh of Bloomberg Intelligence.